Yo, 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 what's up?
Hey, what's going on, sir?
How's it going? How's it going? How you
Uh,
doing?
I'm doing okay, but if I can be 100% real, I
What does
was
that
not.
mean?
I was not looking forward to this,
Why?
just because I'm so tired. It's just
Oh, from work?
no, not even from work, just from life.
Oh, yeah?
No, I was up late last night. I had a couple drinks.
Oh, damn.
Woke up early this morning. It was my day off. But there's always work at home, right?
Yeah,
So I just came back. I was doing like work outside, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's already 8."
yeah.
Ran back upstairs, and here we are.
There we go.
Yeah,
Fuck. That's called discipline, right?
discipline, 100%.
I can honestly say there's times where I wake up, dude, and I only run on discipline. You know? Like, I'll wake up and I'm like, I could easily not go in today and just be like, I'm sick. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But like, I guess the responsibility of like you agreed to be somebody that goes to work on these days, go to
exactly.
work on these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it.
Um,
I get it.
it's
I go
it's
through the
tough.
same. I go through the same motions.
Yeah. God, how do we get out of that, man?
I don't
How do we
know.
get rich tomorrow? And that's actually a good. It leads into one of the things that I had here in the notes was I heard
But
somewhere.
can I just say something?
Go for it.
Just hearing this and me thinking about our situation, it's like quit being a bitch. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like to
yeah,
myself, like we got it so good. You know what I mean? Like
like we're doing the podcast. You know how many people are probably working right now, their third shift?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I have to like remind myself, honestly. And you know who helps me like who
Who keeps you
makes
humble?
me well, not who keeps me humble, but who reminds me, okay, like the person that reminds me that I have it good is my wife, right? Because she'll go on and say things like that, right? Like I want more, or like I want a bigger house, or whatever. And it makes me immediately think like we already have a lot that others
Yeah,
dream of and probably will never have, you know?
but even just
So
thinking about our working situation, it's not.
oh no,
You know
it's
what I
not
mean?
bad.
Like it's not bad. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But it goes back to um all this that we're talking about. It leads to one thing that I had written here, and I heard it somewhere. So but it goes people are jealous of what you have, but they're not jealous of how you got it or what you did to get it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
how many times have you heard, "Oh, you're so lucky," and it's like, yes, but I also busted my ass. I also, went to school. I also worked,
yeah,
double
yeah, yeah.
shifts. I
Like you
like,
just
you know
see
what I
the
mean?
end result.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like I'm a victim of that mentality sometimes too, right? Like I see some people and I'm like, damn, like lucky ass
What the fuck are
motherfucker,
they
right?
doing? Yeah,
Yeah, and I really don't know what they did to get there, you know? I mean, there's that 1% that probably, got it easy or whatever, but for the most part, somebody put in the work, stayed up the late nights, you know what I mean? Like,
sucked a couple dicks.
boy, if that's what it took,
Yeah,
I'd have knee pads for fucking knees, but like it's true though. Like people never really, what, like nobody ever asks like, hey, what did you do to get there? Like how did you, like, what was your, journey? No, everybody's just like, you're lucky to have that, or like, damn, that's badass. How like that's the question. It's never, hey, let's talk about how you got there, show me some things. It's
yeah.
never that. Why isn't it?
I don't know
You think if
because the journey is not easy.
it's not, and it's not fun a lot of the times, right? It's
Yeah,
like it's like you said, right? You were doing all this work all day already. You probably just want to chill, but you made a commitment, and so the discipline part tells you, I need to finish this part too. I need to do this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, right, like I think about it all the time, right? I just want to fucking chill. I just want to sit. I want to probably go play a game. And for example, I got to go cut the grass tomorrow, and I'm like, I would love to just not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love to just not. Oh, as a matter of fact, today I found where we bought this machine for it's a vacuum slash brush for the dogs. So it like brushes but
Oh
vacuum.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And we're doing it on Vader, and I see a fucking flea on him, bro. I feel so bad because
Yeah.
it's fucking like it's annoying, right? And
Yeah.
so that now in my head, immediately I saw the flea, I killed it, but immediately I'm like, okay, I gotta cut the grass, and on top of that, I'm gonna have to go spread the insect killer, and then on top of that, I'm gonna have to water the lawn so that the insect killer sits on there, and on top of that, I'm gonna have to like probably do it again so that we really get the
Yeah.
bugs. Probably split. So I have this other thing that's like a spray insect killer too, so I'm gonna have to do all this shit instead of just cutting the grass, and I'm like,
Yeah.
um, but if I was different, if I set my mind up differently, right, I'd probably say something like, "Oh man, I get to do this. I enjoy like I would because I enjoy cutting the grass and
Like
I
you
enjoy doing
have
all that
a
stuff."
lawn that you can cut.
Yeah, like how many
But
people always tell me
so
like,
so
"Oh,
what
your
so
backyard's so nice."
yeah, so what did we say last time? It's easier to make negative things positive, or it was easier to be
No, we
positive?
said it's better to be less negative than more positive, because more positivity you can have more positivity, but at the same time you can have more negativity. So it just kind of goes hand in hand. But if
Yeah.
you have less negative thoughts, more positive thoughts start racking up because you have less of those negative
I've
thoughts.
been trying to remember what it was.
Yeah. So it's less negative thoughts is better.
So just less negativity.
Correct.
Okay, so
Less
it's
negativity is
it's
better.
opposite from what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had the same thought. I thought more positive, but it's no, it's being less negative. Like stop thinking of the negative part, right? Or
Yeah,
whenever
because
you
I can be
have a
positive,
negative.
but I can also be very negative.
Yeah, yeah, it's so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy.
And then going back to your original question of why people don't ask for the journey, because we tend to be negative. Like we're just negative. Like people is negative by nature, I think.
I think for the most part, you're right. I
Yeah.
think for the most part, there's more people that are, and I think about it like this: there's more people that are victims to their mentality, to the system, to whatever, and so they succumb to that, and then the journey becomes negative.
Yeah.
Versus saying like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, let me tell you the story. I was a little bitch before, and then I fucking woke up one day and I said no more. And then from the day forward, I was just a badass. Everything I did was badass, and everything I do is badass. And like nobody thinks like that, right? There's a
Yeah.
very small percentage of people that think like that, because it's hard too, right? Um, think about like when you set expectations and those expectations don't get either met by somebody else, by you, society kind of doesn't help out your environment and shit. Like it's hard to like, you
Hey,
know,
what's up, Daniel?
get out.
Remember Daniel from last week?
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. What's up, Daniel? Thank you for stopping by, man. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the support. Um,
He's at work. He's actually at the store right now.
yeah, and so I really, man, I really wonder like so I think it has to do with also I saw this video the other day. I can't remember this guy. He's pretty. I don't know if he's famous, but he's a known speaker. I can't remember his name, but he was talking about the brain. The human brain does not understand. Does not understand no. Right. Does not understand negativity. So it really understands negativity. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he goes and does an example where if I tell you right now, King Cesar, do not think of an elephant, what just
Boom.
went into your mind?
Big ass
You
elephant.
know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying is like when somebody tells you don't do it, it's like, do it. You know what I mean? So the brain doesn't understand how to not be negative. I guess is that a thing?
I think like what I said, it's just it's we're naturally, I don't know what you would call it other than negative.
Could it be that like what is that fight and flight response thing?
Yeah, I think so. Like instinct type of thing. Because like survival of the fittest, like you gotta be aware of like all the bad stuff, right?
Yeah, to survive. Yeah, yeah.
So naturally you would think, yeah, I joke around like this, but like I always think worst case scenario about everything, right? But
Oh,
it's
that's Diana, bro.
yeah, but it's just what happens. But it's natural just to think the worst, right?
Uh, I disagree
Never
because
in
I
a
don't think the worst.
never in a situation I'm like, no, it's the best possible outcome. Never
No,
think
I
like
don't
that.
think ever
Not
it's
at
the
the
best
beginning.
possible outcome, but I
I
don't
can
ever think like worst case scenario. I never think
I
that.
can
Like,
I can talk myself into out of worst case scenario, but I never think, oh no, it's gonna be the best. Like that's not the first thing that comes to mind.
yeah, so that's Diana's mentality. Diana is always thinking like the worst. I mean, like, there's no way that anything else can happen. You know what I mean? Like, that's just gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And I'm the opposite, right? I am like, I think more not so the opposite in the sense of like positivity. I'm more of like, fuck it, let's try it, right? But I don't go in thinking worst case scenario. I just go in thinking
Like
like let's say
we'll
we're
like I'll
gonna,
deal with it whenever.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So like example, extreme example, right? If we had to walk on coal, right, like from one side to the other on coal, Diana would automatically be like, "Oh, the skin of my
I'm
feet are
gonna
gonna be
die.
peeling
Yeah.
off. I might fall and die, or fall and burn my arm." Me, I'm just like, "Fuck it, let's do it, and we'll deal with whatever comes at the moment." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking about what can actually go wrong because I really think, and I've mentioned this another time, I really think words have energy. Words carry on. So I think whenever you, and thoughts, right? Words and thoughts. And I think whenever you think this way or whenever you talk it out, whatever, you're like sending it out. And when you send it out, it comes back, baby. You know what I mean? So
True.
I try to avoid that like worst case scenario because I think if you do think that way, then it's gonna happen, right? I mean, does that kind of
Or
make
at least
sense?
you're not being less negative.
Sure, but it's kind of like the skiing and the tree. You've heard of that before,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
where they tell the
Like if you
skier to not focus on trees
because
because if you
that's the
do,
first
you're
thing is
gonna
gonna
end up,
happen. Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna end up at the tree. So I feel like that's what worst case scenario is, right? Like it's in your mind. You're like, oh, worst case scenario, and it's just you like end up working your way to worst case scenario.
I was trying to understand what Daniel said. I think he said, I think there's a nice balance between the two. Because if you're too into yourself, then you're seen as egotistical.
I think he's talking about like
And that's a negative thing. Oh, you're saying like if you're too positive, it could seem like you're a know-it-all kind of thing.
well, I think he's talking about when you're too positive about yourself,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
because like you talked about
Yeah,
being like the best of everything, and yeah,
yeah. But then at that point, does it really matter what others think? Like that's another thing that we have a problem with as humanity and society, right? Like we really care about what other people think. As
yeah,
much as we say we don't, right? Like
we
there
do.
is that other person that we care about what they think about.
Yeah.
Because what does it matter if they think you're egocentric, egotistical, or they think you're a know-it-all? Like, oh, what does it matter if it makes you feel good? If you're happy doing that, like you're happy. Fuck
Well,
it, you
I
know.
think he's saying that it's not necessarily that it matters, but it's that it's a negative mindset.
Of others,
Yeah.
not yours,
Right. Yeah.
right? Because your mindset would be really positive at that point.
No, I 100% believe in the power of thought. Like if you're kind of like what he said here, like if you're in a really cold place and you're thinking warm, you do have a better, I guess you could say, chance of surviving if you're in an extreme situation than if you just kind of just give up and say, think you're gonna die.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that. And that's what I was saying, right? I believe that words and thoughts have that energy, um, right?
Hey, what's up, Alex?
It's that mind over matter, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Alex said, "What is the downside of being too positive?"
none.
Is there a
There's
mindset
none.
of being too positive?
I don't
What do you
think there
think?
is. I think it's what other people might perceive of you as the downside, but then at that point is their problem, right? I guess it
So
could become your problem if it's like your boss. I don't know.
I'm trying to reach. If you're too positive, you could be too confident or overconfident,
But then
and that
I
can let
guess
that can lead you to lay your guard down. I'm thinking of
well
specific scenarios.
I guess forget like your
Like you,
guard
you
because
like
is
you're
this
too
like an
positive.
emotional thing or what are
Well,
you talking about?
well, no, like I'm thinking of like say a game, right? Let's like sports. You're too
Okay.
positive, so that leads you to not train as hard, which leads you to be to be overconfident, and that could be a negative thing.
Are we reaching there though? Because I think being too positive doesn't necessarily make you cocky.
Well,
I think this is what
I'm
we're
relating
perceiving.
I'm relating positive with confident. So that might be a reach, but again, it is. I mean, being confident it's a good thing, you would think, but being too confident might lead down that path.
Yeah. So there's definitely balance is better, right? In the sense of like you don't want to be, but I'm just thinking like if you're too positive, is there such a thing as too positive? Because too positive,
Hey, Daniel
it,
brought up a good point too. He said if you're too positive, you could trust the wrong people because you're too positive. You're thinking
you're thinking the best of
everything's
everybody.
gonna be yeah, everything's gonna be great, nothing's gonna happen. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why we have these thoughts. I think there's a reason why we naturally kind of lean towards, and we talked about the nature side of it, survival of the fittest, and surviving and having negative thoughts, keeping negative things in mind because that kind of keeps us on our toes, I guess.
But is it negative to be careful? Because at that point, you're being careful. You could be positive and you could be really positive, expect the best of everybody,
But
but you
yeah,
could be careful.
but I guess
Like being positive doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you have to be just
yeah,
like it doesn't mean like, oh, everybody is great, everybody's amazing, like you can also be careful. Like I
yeah,
don't think
yeah,
being careful is being negative. Right? Like if you go to Fifth Ward, you're not just gonna leave your car
yeah.
unlocked
Yeah.
and fucking your phone on your right there and just be like, oh, everything's gonna be okay, nobody's gonna break in my car. Like
But
that,
could you possibly say okay that you're being negative because you're gonna think something's gonna happen? You
no,
could. Yeah, I think you can have one without the other for sure.
yeah, you can't have one without the other because there's no comparison, right? If everything is just positive, then you don't know what's what.
Alex
But
said being positive and being naive is two different things, and that makes sense. Yeah,
exactly,
yeah, yeah, for sure.
like you gotta know, right? Like I'm not
But we
trying to
think,
say that.
but we were trying to figure out the question if being too positive could be something bad, or if there would be a downside to being positive. And I think there is. I mean, specific scenarios could potentially.
Yeah, yeah. I guess like the saying, right? That too much of something is not good, right? Like necessarily.
Yeah,
Um, but I'm just trying to think. Yeah, I
I
guess we
think.
agree. We
I
agree
mean,
on that.
in general, I would still say try to be more positive or less negative.
Alex said, "I admire people that are always positive because I'm negative as fuck." I used to be annoyed with those people, the positive people,
Yeah.
until I started exponential growth, and then I was like really positive about everything. I will say, dude, it makes a difference.
So I think you started to change your mentality while you were doing the whole exponential growth because you wanted to kind of push that onto everybody else, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah, I mean, and I was positive. I was really positive, and it makes a very big difference, dude. Like it does. It's so crazy. Um, like there were some things that people would say that previously would have probably bothered me, right? But at that time I was just like, eh, it was so different. Where now I'm back to square. I wouldn't say one, but I like square
What do you
three.
mean on negativity?
Yeah, I'm back to like struggling to be positive.
Oh, okay.
Um, right, environment affects a lot.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's just it's I don't know. I mean, but look, I remember I enjoyed being positive. It is.
You enjoyed being positive.
Yeah, because
Once
you know
upon a
what?
time, a long, long time ago.
It was only like 3 years ago. It just opens your eyes to a lot of like you know what it
So,
did? It did, and it really opened my eyes to see like, damn, everybody I hang out with and that I know is extremely negative.
but that in itself is a negative thought because we're
No,
looking
it's
at
an honest thought.
well, yeah, but we're looking at the negative parts of because everybody has like good and bad, right? Everybody has like qualities and things they could work on.
Yeah, no,
So
but
if
but
you solely focused on their strengths and qualities, and that would be, I guess you could say, having a positive look at something.
sure. But what I said was everybody around me had negative was negative, and that is true, dude. Like you name one person in our circle right now that you could say is more positive than negative.
uh, no, no,
It's tough.
maybe.
And I remember it made me question one time, like, what if everybody in my circle was as positive or was trying to be as positive as I am trying to be right now, right? This was my mindset back then. What could we accomplish? I really thought that. But it was, it stopped really quickly too, because then I towards the end, it was like, I'm over here trying, nobody else is. And so ain't nobody gonna ever try to reach my mentality. And so fuck this shit. You know what I mean? But if we all just came to an agreement, like we're gonna be positive as hell, we're gonna work together, we're gonna help each
Like
other,
we're
we're
always
gonna
gonna be
stick
fucking
together.
positive all the time, 24/7.
Yeah, like, and we're just gonna help each other. We're just gonna like push each other. We're just gonna, boy, I, we would be up there.
Daniel brought up a good point. He said there's a difference between growth mentality and a fixed mentality. I guess what he's trying to say. We actually said between a growth and a fixed mindset.
What does that mean?
So I think what it is, or I think what we're trying to say is a growth mentality is somebody who's always trying to do better, trying to be more positive, trying to do more positive things. We're talking about positivity, right? So a growth mindset, you're trying to get better, basically,
Yeah,
as opposed to having a fixed mindset is just things are what they are, and I'm not trying to be anything better or worse. Just I'm just where I'm at now. I'm just gonna accept things as they are and not try to make anything better.
yeah,
That's what I'm getting out of that.
makes sense.
Definitely, I know about. I don't know about, but I know I've heard about a growth mentality. It's just having that push to try to do better, trying to
Yeah,
change things up. And like I said, being positive or expecting positive things, working towards something that's positive. It's I say this all the time. It's simple, but it's not easy
yes,
because it's so
that is
simple, right?
true.
And I repeat these over and over again. I'm at work and just in general, but things are simple because you understand it. 100% you understand. If you're positive, good things are gonna happen. I think everybody can agree with that. But it's
Yes.
not easy.
Why isn't it easy?
I don't know.
I mean, what are some factors that can make it difficult?
Uh, other people,
Yeah, that's what I was
relationships,
thinking. I was thinking of that, like other people.
lack of support, It could be environment, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know we bitch about this at least once every time that we meet up, but the lack of support from like your significant other detrimental to your success.
Yes. I don't even know how to emphasize that. Um, your spouse will your spouse will make or break
Yeah,
you and the situation. Um, I mean, it's a
but
fact.
you know what? Something a contradicting thought that I have about this is yes, but also am I blaming an exterior force for my
Mm,
because it could go both ways. Either you're accountable for your actions and everything, right? Like it's a all or nothing kind of thing. Like either you are accountable or it does affect you, and it's a valid reason.
but I think there's something there, and I don't know because if you have somebody, so okay, I guess the question would then be: are they just not supporting you, or are they not supporting you and in implying negative energy, whatever? I don't know how to say that. What I'm trying
Keeping
to
you
say, like,
down, holding
yeah,
you
like, are
back.
they asking you, like, why are you even doing this? Why do you keep trying? Are they talking about the bills? Are they talking about, like, how much money you're investing, your time, and all this shit? Like, because there could be no support where they're just kind of irrelevant, right? And you're just kind of doing your own thing. There's no
Yeah,
support, but there's also no negative energy coming your way from that person. But then there's also the no support plus that nagging and bitching and complaining, right? That is more detrimental, or like that is
yeah.
terrible.
No, I think we can. I think we agree that that can definitely affect. I mean, if you're asking about factors that can affect your mentality, that right there.
Yeah. But it goes back to what I was saying about, right, thoughts and words or energy. Um, if you got somebody that's just, it doesn't, and honestly, it doesn't even have to be just your spouse. But since we're talking about spouse,
Well, I mean,
but if you
who
have
do you?
somebody telling you, like,
That's
hey,
who we spend most of our time with. If
yeah,
you're a normal, responsible adult, it's
yeah,
work and your spouse, your family.
yeah, 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 yeah. So let's see what did Daniel say here. Definitely my significant list about so many things. So he said, definitely my significant other has changed my mind about so many things, and even about me thinking about joining the military, despite me telling her all the benefits and all the growth that is possible.
Ooh,
I,
that's
I don't want,
rough.
yeah, I don't want to overstep there too much, but I don't know. Look, I will say this. I absolutely love my military. I love them, and I respect them, and everything, like, just amaze balls, right? Me being part of that, oh my god, joining that brotherhood, bro. I could not, man. I
But I think also you've met or you know someone who's kind of been let down by that experience.
a lot of people like it. I mean, they like it, but it's a different world, dude. It's
Or
just
you're
a
saying
different
just for
world.
you, it like that wouldn't be for you.
That wouldn't be for me, dude. It wouldn't be for me. But
Yeah.
like I said, I would love to
Yeah,
help,
yeah,
support,
you can
do
respect
everything I
something and
can,
not
right?
yeah, yeah.
But I'm saying that because Daniel talked about joining the military
Yeah.
and there
Well,
being benefits, and I don't
well
know if the
let's
benefits
talk about this.
outweigh
Let's talk about
the,
this.
you know.
Let's say joining the military for Daniel is the right move. And if we were able to pick into the future and let him know that that was the move that made him successful in life, right? But now he has another path. Now he's been now that he's with I guess his significant other, he's doubting that move, right? So he's like kind of deviating from that. how do you decide? Again, like your partner has a lot to do with what you do in life.
100%.
If
Now,
she let's say, and not even Daniel, but like say somebody in the same situation, if their partner is like, yeah, go ahead, do it, like that's a great opportunity for you, right? Like can't hold you down, you know. And not that they're either not being supportive or just you yourself decide to change your mind because you see other things, right? um but how much would that change the experience there if the other person is just being supportive 100% of what you're trying to do?
mm,
It could go both ways, right? It could, in that specific scenario, could not join the military and still be greatly successful,
yeah,
or not. Like, but you made that choice because of an external,
an
uh
external force of
yeah,
some
yeah, that
sort.
is not you.
But so, okay, so in that scenario, I guess this goes a little bit off the beaten path, but I guess, do you believe in destiny? I mean, I don't. I think we built our own
No,
destiny. I
I
don't think
don't.
there's like a path to
No.
be right,
Yeah,
because then we wouldn't be able to make our choices. Because some people would say, well, then that wasn't your destiny, right? Like to join the military.
that's just an excuse for you to, to explain something that's unexplainable.
Yeah,
Like
God,
it's destiny. Oh, whoa! I was talking about destiny.
same difference.
Alex said, "Can't relate. Carla has my back 24/7."
And I
Okay.
wonder, I would almost, I believe it because of what the what I've heard and seen, and like, right, I don't know the whole shebang, like the ins and outs, but I almost would love to like have like a camera, like a what are those shows where they record? Fuck.
Oh, like a reality show type of thing.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry,
Yeah.
god damn. I would almost love to have like a reality show to see how that conversation goes, because is it Carla has my back, but I have to explain the whole path? Or is it Carla has my back no matter what? Like, hey, babe, I'm going to do this. And she's like, yeah, babe, go for it. Or is it, hey, babe, I'm going to do this. And I think I should do this because of this, and that. And I think it's going to go, da, 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 da. And like, do you have to
And
convince
at
this
that point, you're kind
person?
of like explaining it. Yeah, you're trying like
Yeah.
basically asking for permission. You know.
Yeah. And so it's great. Like, both of them are probably good. They're one of them has a pro and the other one has a
and
pro too, but I
there's
would like one better than the other.
and there's something else there too. So, and I'll say this all the time: the perception is reality, right? So if he feels like she's got his back 24/7, no matter what, that's powerful already there,
Hell yeah.
right?
I'm
Because
jealous.
because maybe there's some people out there who may not. Um, so I don't know. It is interesting though that you have somebody who so confidently has permission to say that somebody else has their back 24/7.
It's great. And like, I'm thinking to myself, and I mean, I feel like my wife does too, but I'm on that side of like, I do have to give her a lot of details though, because Diana likes to know, like she
There's
wants to
not,
know what to expect,
and there's nothing wrong
and
with that.
yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right?
Yeah,
So that's why I was wondering,
but
like, what that,
it's not that blind
yeah, that blind
support
faith,
that.
bro.
Yeah,
Oh man, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Maybe it is. I don't, and I just don't see it that way.
yeah.
Um,
Maybe we just don't have the right expectation. I guess. Like maybe
I don't
that's
know.
not the way it's supposed to be. Maybe it's not supposed to be a blind, no matter what support. Maybe it is supposed to be a let's talk about it type of situation. And
Oh,
we just think that's not what we want.
I
Because
know. Yeah,
I
no, I
agree
don't
with
want
you.
that. I want blind faith.
I want blind faith. I 100% agree with
Yeah,
you. I think if I say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this," no matter what, that's it.
I want blind faith
Now
and
is
blind
that
trust.
now that's assuming that it goes both ways, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just want to
And
clear
and
it
I
up.
think that's why I want that, because I have that. Like, if Diana was to tell me, "Hey, I'm gonna try this," go for it. fuck it. As a matter of fact, how can I help? You know what I mean?
Right.
Um,
So if Deanna tomorrow says, "Hey, I'm gonna open an OnlyFans account. I'm gonna quit everything, dedicate
all
my
right,
life to that for the next 10 years, no matter what, you got it.
let's run. Let's do it.
No opinions, no thoughts about that, nothing."
No, and then as a matter of fact, I'd probably be like, how can I help? Are we doing pornos? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
this
yeah.
is a benefit now, baby. This is a benefit.
Like, is this a joint experience, right?
You
Like, are
know
we
what I
both
mean?
quitting our jobs and
Yeah. No, I mean, like I feel I just think, yeah, like I have blind faith and trust in that she's gonna do what she thinks is best. Like I don't think Diana would
and let me hit you.
intentionally
Let me hit you with
do
a.
something to fuck us over.
Let me hit you with a splash of reality. What if you do not agree? What if you do not believe or agree or just deep in your heart know that that's the wrong choice? How do you go about that? Because you already committed to blind faith.
Hmm.
You could not, because then it's not blind faith, right? You could not give your opinion or prevent it from happening. And you would have to be in a situation where it didn't matter if it happened or not. But what if it's something that it does matter? What if it's relevant? You know what I mean? What if it's life
Yeah.
changing and you know that's the wrong thing to do, or you know it's the wrong move, or whatever it is?
So
How
I
do you
will
go
say
about that?
this. I
I mean,
will say this. If you in your scenario, if you just know like everything's gonna like not everything's gonna go bad, but you know you just know it's gonna it really impact your life. Is that what you're saying? Like you just
yes,
know it.
you just know it.
At that point, then full stop. But at
But
that point, it's kind of what we were talking about a little bit earlier, right? Naiveness. Like, you can't be naive either, right? Like, you can't know that something is gonna go bad. Like, if you like, you're saying like you know it's gonna go bad. You can't just be like,
well, I
yeah, go
mean,
for
I'm
it.
saying you 100% believe it.
Well, in that scenario, you should have enough trust. If you have blind faith in this person, you should have enough trust also to say, okay, hey, I want to support you, but I got something to say, right? You should be able to discuss it.
So it's not blind.
Yes, it is.
Can't be. Can't be
Yeah.
both. You can't discuss it and give your opinion.
No, but you're saying that you believe something is wrong. So at that point, hmm, I see what you're saying.
I'm just saying we.
I'm just
I,
thinking
I
like
think I think they
because
shouldn't.
I think
I know when we say blind.
I just think we're being too extreme.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what I'm saying too. I think when we say blind support, doesn't necessarily mean 100% blind, right? But it does mean that the general thought is that the support is going to be there. Like for a fact. Forget what they think. You know for a fact that the support is going to be there.
Well, but that's also the other side of things that I was kind of mentioning a little bit earlier. It's like I don't. Uh, how do I say this? In my scenario, right? Like I don't believe Diana will do anything
Correct.
or will recommend anything to potentially damage catastrophically, like you're saying, right?
Yeah. Also, something we're not talking about, which it is something we got to consider, is what kind of relationship you have with X person. How
Yeah,
much trust do you have with each other, right? Like you said, you know she wouldn't do something like that. So with that premise, can you at that point then say, yes, I can blindly support because I know for a fact that's never going to be the case?
yeah, and that's where, yeah, I think that's where that threshold is where we, or at least I am with Diana, right? I know that Diana will not intentionally, or if she has a slither of, oh, this is
Not
gonna go wrong, she
doesn't
won't do
necessarily
it.
have to be intentional.
Well, that's what I said. But if she has like a slither of thought, like maybe not, I know she won't go for it, right? If she truly believes that it's a good thing, I'm sure in my mind, right? I trust that she's gone through all the, ABCs and D's, and she's dotted her I's and crossed her T's. That when she tells me about it, I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
What can I do to help? And I think also, honestly, that what can I do to help opens that door so that you can see the inside too. Where I
Yeah.
think a lot of people fail to do that, and they'll be like, "Let me give you my thought." No, I don't. That's not the best way. Or da da da. It's like
Right. Right.
immediately the walls put up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So we got a couple comments here. Let's see. There's definitely pros and cons to both. Because if someone has your back 24/7, then they could leave you to make bad choices. However, if they challenge every decision, then it could lead you to make choices behind their back. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
If you believe it will hold you back. Okay, that's part of the thing. So let's see. I believe what Cesar is saying is that if your significant other wants to open a shop that you know will fail, then would you let them because disappointment or let them follow your
Basically,
dream?
you just let
Oh,
them.
that one's a little tough though
Yeah. That's yeah. Because again,
because
that's gonna affect both of you guys, right? Like, say your partner says, "Hey, you know what? I'm gonna take all our savings that we've put together, and we're gonna open the shop." And you believe, it's not. It's gonna fail. It's gonna affect your life.
oh, that one's a little tough though
Yeah.
because I this is kind of going back to what we were talking about a little bit with the worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario is you fail. And me personally,
Well, no. Worst case
I
scenario is your
you
life
fail.
changes completely.
Well, yeah, but life changes completely because of the failure, right?
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, you
But when
fail,
you
and then
when
now
you
you got to
fail,
figure it out.
no, no, no. But what I'm trying to say is, it's not just you fail. Like, you potentially say you lose your house, lose your, get into debt, completely change your lifestyle. It's not like you failed. Okay, we'll leave to tell the story another day. But it's more of it completely changes your
Yeah,
life.
but honestly, you have to try to
Yes.
make it,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
can't live
You gotta
on
take
the
the
safe
risk.
side every
Yeah, you
day.
gotta take the risk.
So this is where I say, how can I help, right? And then this is where I help get into that business so that it doesn't fail. Now, if you're saying, yeah, baby, go ahead and do it on your own, then is it really their fault
Then
completely,
you've
right?
been
Because
naive.
we're you. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like if
Yeah.
you really think it's gonna fail, like you really believe this, and your spouse really believes like it's not, maybe okay, how can I help to make it not? Right? How can
Okay.
I change my mindset?
I just thought about this other extreme. It's incredibly successful, and now she dumps your ass because
Well, if y'all are married, half of it is yours,
and
so
I'm
fuck
about
it.
to start some shit up, because that's what women do when they're super successful, right? They leave their man. In general, there's studies
Oh,
about this. You go look it up. More women that have a higher income or are highly successful want to leave their spouse. It's
so
like 75, like 80%. It's
so
ridiculous.
so Diana wouldn't get too far. We'll leave it there. But
I
other
know.
women that leave their
I just thought
men,
it'd be fun to think about that.
yeah, no, other women that leave their men. I mean, in that scenario, if you're married, right, I think the man would
But
get
but
half.
could you have, maybe, right? Unless she says you whooped her at some point and then you're fucked.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But what I think is fun is, you could have prevented that if you would have been negative and you would have stopped them from doing it, right?
Yeah,
You
but
kind of
then
kept
do
them in their
you?
place.
Okay, but now let me give you a positive
Maybe you
thought.
li- but wait. Let's say you're a reasonable guy and you convince your partner not to do it, and she just stays in her lane, and you guys just live happily forever, right? And you at some point, you guys just live a great life, and that never happened. Was that the right choice?
I don't know because I think
I mean,
if
you're
you,
selfish, right? Like if you don't let somebody else do their thing,
yeah,
and
that's
you're
exactly what I was gonna
selfish.
get to. That's what I was gonna get to. I think you have to, in a way of sort, support the happiness of the person that you love.
Look, I'm gonna keep it
If
100%. If that was my scenario, I'm getting kicked to the curb. No, no. I know it. I know. Probably all the men that I know, it's that's. I don't know if you believe that or not.
no, I don't
Hopefully
think
not.
Diana
I
would
want to be
dip.
hopeful. I want to be positive. But let's be honest.
I
The
don't think
possibility
Diana
is
would
there.
dip. I
What
don't
what
think Diana would dip.
what would hold her back?
What would hold her back
Other than you,
is
other than you killing her, what would hold it? What would hold her back?
whoa,
I'm just saying. Other than
what?
you physically doing something, what would actually hold her back? She
Okay,
becomes a
so I
billionaire. She becomes a
yeah,
millionaire,
yeah,
and you're
no,
just an average guy making $100,000 a year. What keeps her from?
the
It ain't love. Love dies at some point.
yeah, no, it's I'm trying to word this correctly. What keeps at least my woman, right, Diana,
Is
with
that D?
me is no, fuck no, not at all.
Yeah,
That's far from the truth.
I thought you were gonna make a great clip there,
No, no, no.
but and not even
It's
you. Like I'm not trying to put you on the spot. What
no,
keeps
it's not even putting me
what
on the
keeps
spot.
any girl attached
Well,
to a
it
guy
well and
who they're just mildly happy with
well, but
at that
time out
point?
because it depends, right? It depends on the his. So, for example, I with Diana is the sense of security, family, and realness. Um,
You don't
unfortunately,
think she can buy another husband that can keep her secure and whatever?
no, if you do that, I'm 99% sure that anybody that becomes a part of that relationship, the back of their mind, right, the one with the money will always be,
Yeah.
oh, like they're with me for the money. But no, I'm talking about between me and Diana though. It's there's the history, there's the trauma from her family, right? That's what would keep her with me. Like everybody has trauma, right? And so
So wait. You're saying it's a negative thing that would keep her there with you?
it's a negative previous experience.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So is that okay? I guess it could be seen both ways. I guess
Like the idea of family
because what you're
is
trying to,
very strong.
what you're saying, yeah. So what you're saying is just because of previous trauma and the shit that she went to and whatever, right? She wouldn't dare do that. Is what you're saying.
Well, she wouldn't want to, yeah,
But
she
at
wouldn't
that
want to
point,
repeat that.
it has everything to do with her and nothing to do with you.
Sure. But that's every relationship, even if you're poor, right? You're with somebody because you want to be with them.
Yeah.
Like that's every honest relationship, right? Now, if there is some sinister, they're gonna take me out of debt, they're gonna pay for school, they're gonna do that. That's not gonna work. Like that will definitely break
So
almost immediately.
so you've never felt like if you were a bum in your relationship, you would still be there, or you wouldn't be there.
Oh, if I was a bum, I'd be out. She would dump me immediately.
So
But
what?
then there,
So what's
but
the
then at that point,
what's the difference between that and just taking it to the next level?
because $100,000 is not a bum.
It is if you're a millionaire.
No, it's not.
It could not
It
be
is if you want to look down on
enough
people,
if
right? It is
yeah.
if you want to say like, oh, that person, the $100,000 bum ass, but it's not, right? If you're honest with yourself, and I mean, if you're just honest, period.
Yeah.
Anybody making over $60,000 is not a bum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it depends where
But
your
it
mindset goes, right?
then
Like I'm a billionaire, a millionaire. You
but
let it get to your head. You think everybody else is lower than you.
this is what you and I and maybe a lot of people would know and believe. Um but it doesn't mean everybody believes that. You know,
Sure, but we're talking about
if
like
you're a billionaire and you're making $100,000 a year, you're a bum. I mean, you're nobody. It's nothing. You
ah,
compare a
I
billion to 100,000, it's nothing.
I understand that that comparison is nothing, but we're talking about people here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay,
But
somebody
but you're trying to be
making a
positive.
billion dollars better than somebody that's making $100,000. Right? We see it all the time. For example, is P Diddy
we
better than
know
anybody
we know
making a
we
hundred
know
thousand
that's
dollars? Hell
true.
no.
We know it's
You
true, but
know,
does that other partner
and
see it like
and it and that's why I said I made the comment. It's very dependent on everybody, right?
it is
Because
depending on what kind of relationship you get. Like if you
because
got a really super strong relationship, you're gonna survive. You're gonna make
correct. I mean, you see it a lot,
it.
right? You see it a lot.
Yeah.
There was a fucking check this out. There's a teacher who opened the OnlyFans. Fucking was making over $100,000.
That the one that got fired?
Well, I don't think she got fired. I think she quit. But her son came up to her and said, "Hey, mom, I need you to quit OnlyFans because my friends are bullying me, right? Because they're seeing you on OnlyFans."
I would bully
And
the hell out
she's
of this kid.
and and she okay, but guess what? What the mom said? Okay, let them bully you, but I'm making $100,000 a month.
Yeah, but still, just for the hell of it. Like nothing's gonna change, you know what I mean? Like
What? Okay, then I could say, okay, you know what though? But
what are you gonna be like,
go
oh no,
go
you're
back to
right.
your
You're
fucking
right.
friend. Go back to your fucking friend and tell him that I could buy his little bitch ass. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
whatever. This mom made it on OnlyFans, right?
yeah.
Teacher, she ended up quitting and whatever. The dad, they had a conversation, and he ended up being a stay-at-home dad, and she kept on doing that shit, right? So that relationship stayed strong, and I mean,
Dude,
she could easily
that was
dip.
that was a rock hard relationship from the beginning. If that's the way it went,
Yeah.
that's like so many different things that could have gone wrong there.
Sure, but I mean, and then it goes back, right? It depends what's their history, what's in each individual's history, and then what's their history together, right? Because
Thank
some relationship are just in stone, bro.
Yeah. So Daniel said the top 10 richest women in the US, aside from Kylie Jenner, gained their wealth from men. Uh,
Is that true
That's
though?
true. That's 100% true. I heard it.
I don't think so. Because
Yeah,
if Oprah is in the top 10, then that means top nine. Because Oprah did that
maybe.
shit on her own.
Yeah. Well, did she? Dun-dun-dun.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, a man told Oprah she wouldn't be anything.
Yeah, I guess you can say in her own if you don't want to talk about like
Well, yeah, like all the men
conspiracy
that
and whatever
own
else.
things or that helped
Yeah.
her
But
and
how
whatever.
many
Yeah.
people she probably killed and
But then you would oh well, that's true. But then you could say no man has ever made it on his own either. They've all made it
yeah,
with
yeah,
men,
yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
what I'm talking about is like because
I
I think
think
what he's talking about is like they were married to
they were
somebody,
married
they
to a
made their wealth
billionaire.
together, and
They were
then they
married.
separated.
So I think the line of the story or whatever it was like these women that were married to like the billionaires, right? And now
Hmm.
they divorced and now they became like some of the top richest women in the world.
Sure.
Not all women that were millionaires or successful. That's not the case for all of them, but the top ones, yeah. The healing that
So
happened between them is what keeps them together.
the
Hmm.
healing, I don't know which one he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But okay, we got a couple comments here. Let's see. Alex said, I will say, me and Carla talk a lot. We have all kinds of conversations all the time. There was a period for about 4 years we spent 24/7 together. I don't know if it's blind fate, but it sure feels like it. And that's another thing, too, right? The perception. You always talk about perception, Cesar. If you feel like your spouse or anybody, your best friend, your brother, your sister, whatever, like you can trust them like that. Oh man, like if you feel that, that's a
Yeah,
different type of energy, different type of power, bro. Like you know what it always makes me think about? This is not boy like spouse. This is more I think it's brothers. You seen that movie? It's with Ben Affleck and Hawkeye.
yeah.
And Ben
Where the guy
Affleck,
just walks in and says, "Hey, I need you to do this. You can't
yeah,
ask me
I
anything about it."
we're gonna go hurt people. You can't ask me anything about it. Blah blah blah. And the guy said, "Okay, whose car are we taking?"
Yeah, yeah.
Boy, I
That's when I
fucking
think of
melted,
yeah,
man.
when I think of like blind trust and blind. What are we talking about? Support. That's what I think about that video, that clip.
He said, "We're gonna hurt people. We're gonna fucking. You can't ask me no questions about it now. You can't talk about it ever again." And then Hawkeye says,
Whose
"Whose
car
car
are
are
we
we
taking?
taking?" Oh man, bro!
Yeah, that's good.
Like, oh, I was thinking like I don't know. Like that made me
Like
just
who has
fucking.
that? Who has that? That's what I'm thinking about.
You know what made me? It sucks that I feel this way because like I don't I whatever. I feel like I'm Hawkeye in many of my reflection my relationships because I am that guy. I am that guy that's gonna be like, all right,
But what I
like
mean is, who has that both ways?
that's what I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And it kills me because, like I said, I feel like I'm Hawkeye in that in many relationships that I'm in, and man, I'm just like, damn. But is it my way too, right?
It's not
Like if I was to
reciprocated.
call somebody and just say like, hey, I need you right now, no matter what, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, you want to think that you're somebody who can do that, but you just don't know until like the opportunities there.
Yeah, because it also goes back to what I said about right in the spouse, right? Like you're gonna, I know you're. I'm hoping that when you make this request, you've thought about not all right because you can't think of everything that's gonna happen, but you've thought of most where you most likely think we're gonna make it out, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think that anybody that would ask me that is going to put me in a situation where I'm going to take the bullet. I think like they would take the bullet if they could, type thing, right? Like that's
If
going
you had
extreme,
that relationship, yeah, I guess that would be. I guess
right?
you can
Like if
assume
I'm
that would be
asking
the case.
you that, I'm going to take the bullet. If there's a bullet, I'm going to take it, right? But um I wouldn't put anybody in a situation like that. You know what I mean?
That
Now,
that would be my thing. Like I couldn't bring myself to put somebody in that situation like that.
yeah, and so then that's another question, right? Is it in that scenario was it selfish of Ben Affleck?
Yeah, I think it can be. I mean, it makes a great movie, but in reality, like,
But you know
are
what?
you
If I'm being
selfish
honest,
if you put
go
somebody
for
else
it.
in danger for you?
I don't know because if I'm being completely honest though, if I found out that somebody that I, ride or die type thing did something and I could have helped, I would be pissed, bro. Like, why didn't you come to me? You know what I mean? I get mad when people move out of their house and don't ask me for help. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody just did something crazy where they needed help and they didn't ask me for help, I'd be like, "What the fuck, bro? Like, you don't trust me, nigga? Like, I got you, you know."
Yeah,
So I don't know. Like, is it selfish? Maybe a little bit, but
I think
also
I
could.
would I would say I think it can be.
I think it's perception, right? Because I guess it can be, but maybe they really need you, right? It's not a bad thing to ask for help. You know what I mean?
It's not a bad thing, yeah. But I'm thinking in a situation where you can put somebody in danger, or I don't know. Let's say they, I don't know, put him in jail for the rest of their lives, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, and then Alex made another comment. So we were talking about um, the trust between spouses. If you were to have an idea that you wanted to follow or a dream, he said something. He said, I'm certain Carla would let me know if I'm being reckless or unreasonable," and that's where I would have made the comment of if you have that quote unquote blind faith, let's call it 99.9 faith in somebody, you should also, I would assume that tied into that, trust and faith is some trust to where that person can tell you, hey, I think you're being reckless here, Um, so then he said if they want to leave, adios. I think we were talking about not
Oh,
like
we're talking about
women
like
that leave whenever
whenever
they're
they become
successful.
successful and they leave. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and
again,
that's another thing, right?
hopefully,
Like,
let's be honest. Hopefully, we can be that positive, right? Like you have no need for me, like you don't love me, whatever, deuce, right?
yeah, give me half of the company.
Maybe.
Um, yeah, because I mean, then at the end of the day, like well, your scenario was either you let them try, they get successful, they leave you, or you don't let them try and you live a mediocre life the rest of your life and
Yeah.
you live happily ever
Or you
after.
just live happy, but
Um,
not a millionaire.
yeah. Um, I almost think I
Do
would
you think?
want the person to try because I think if you don't let them try, there's always going to be that thought of like, you held me back.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna take it up a notch. Do you think if you give, I'm not gonna put you on the spot, but if you give couples the choice to either stay with your spouse or millions, what do you think that outcome there would be? Bah, 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 bah. That's it. It's done. Either answer is fucked up because either you're naive, not you,
No,
but in
because you
general,
think
like either you think you're
naiveness is
naive, like
somebody.
no, they're gonna choose me, or you know for a fucking damn fact that you're not getting picked.
I also think it depends on the situation, right? Like,
Bullshit.
you're talking
What?
about somebody
Uh,
that's a couple that's well off, or are you talking about a couple that's like
no, I'm talking about an
both have to work,
average person that they're both working. Average
like, but they
person.
have to work, or they're just working because they want, like,
They
one
have
has to work, the other one is working because they want a little extra things here and there.
they have to work. Average. Not
Man,
they're not starving. Right? Because that
can
would
I
be an
get back with
extreme.
that person?
I
God,
mean,
that's
would you
tough.
want to?
I just think like if somebody offered Diana $1 billion, I hope she takes it and then finds me later.
Ah,
You
man,
know what I mean?
I'm not even
That
saying a billion, but for a billion, I know for a fact nobody's staying. No, ain't nobody unless you're like 100 years old, and even then,
well,
maybe not.
that's what I'm saying. Like $1 billion,
Let's say not a billion, but let's
I would
say
okay, a couple million, right?
oh, even then
Is
that's rough.
but the question is like, can I get back with this person? You
No,
know what I mean? So
no.
it's you have to take the money and never see them again.
Yeah, like you're choosing to just forget about this person forever, or you're taking the
Ah,
money.
oof. I don't know, chat. What do y'all say?
Hey,
I would actually like to hear
what's
what
the
people would say about
what's
that.
the percentage of nobody's gonna ruin their relationship here on the chat, but what's the percentage of guys versus girls that would say yes and no?
I think I
I
think
think there
more
might be some
girls
guys.
would.
I think some guys might say no.
That's what because look, I am believing very strongly that I'm on that dumb boat. If it's a dumb boat, like I just don't think the relationship I have with my wife is it's like it's priceless. You know what I mean? Like I really have put so much into it that
But
man, like
I'm gonna start a new
and we're
trend here.
fine,
Are
right? And
you
like
are
we're
you
fine. You
are
know
you
what I
being
mean? It's
Are you being Hawkeye in that situation? If you're thinking like that,
what do you mean?
are you being Hawkeye? Are you the one that's ride or die, but you're not getting
Oh yeah, yeah,
reciprocated?
yeah. For sure. I know on my end, 100%. I'm ride or die.
You're getting Hawkeye.
Yeah, I'm Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Um, I want, like I said, I want to believe, and I truly believe that Diana is too, because we've put so much in. That's
You've
another
never,
thing.
but
Like,
you've never talked about this. I mean, there's never been
no, well, we've
there's never
talked
been
about like
yeah. I
jokingly,
mean,
like if
joke around, of
somebody
course.
offers you money, take the
You're
fucking
not,
money
you're
and
not
go
gonna be
find me.
like,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. But you're not gonna be like, okay, in this scenario, if that's the case, we're gonna skip the money. We're gonna stay together. Like that's never actually came up. Like that conversation has never been serious and actually
It's
stuck around
never
and
well,
came up.
yeah, because the conversation, like the
It's
question
unreal.
itself,
It's
doesn't
not.
even sound serious. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like the
that's what
question
I'm saying.
itself sounds like made up.
But
You know?
if you can get past the made up part of it,
Yeah.
the unreal part of it, and truly look past that and figured out the actual if it was the situation, you know, how it went, how it would go down. I guess. I mean, that's where you would get some real answers. That's where
Yeah.
you could get like. I know it sounds unreal, right? And it's just a kind of situation where But I think the answer would be real because for them, there's just no way. Like either, like I said, either you're choosing the money, which I think is what most people would do,
But I think it
or you
man, it just
want to believe that your significant other is not gonna choose the money.
no, but I think it really depends, like the situation they are. Like if you're in a okay situation, you're going on vacation two, three, four times a month. I mean, a year. Like you're not starving. Like all that shit. Like it really becomes like what am I gonna do with all this money and with who? Right? Like do you really just want to go party and shit? Like, I mean, is partying that important to you? Right? Is what you're gonna buy a huge house and be alone in it? Right? Is that really that important? Right? Or like, I
I
think it
didn't
depends
say.
on the
Wait, wait,
situation.
wait. I didn't say you had to be alone forever. I just said
Well, okay, you're gonna go
you're
find
trading
another
your
relationship. You're
current
gonna
spouse with whatever
yeah, but
a
it really
large
goes
sum of
back
money.
into like how much have you invested so far and then where y'all are at. Because like yeah, if it's a couple that's been together 2 3 years, I don't think that's
Done.
surviving. Yeah, I don't think that survives. If it's a couple that's been, together 10, 15 years, but they fight a lot or like there's always some
I think
remorse, there's
I think
always some
there
anger, I don't think that survives either,
I think there's some surviving. It depends on who you ask, which one of the two you ask. Because
Yeah.
there's always, and we
Eh,
talked about, there's always one that's more committed than the other.
yeah, that's for sure. That's for
Hands
sure.
down, that's always
Yeah.
the case. There's
Yeah,
never a
yeah, no.
50-50 relationship.
Well, I mean, we know that a relationship shouldn't even be 50-50. It should
Sure.
never be that
No,
way.
it's
But you're talking about commitment.
commit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, commitment should be 100-100.
Sure.
But I think it depends a lot.
I
I
think
think
it's
a
very.
struggling
I
relationship
think it's depressing to even
100% is
think about it
done.
because back of our minds, you kind of know, right? Anybody out there hearing this conversation, you know,
See, like I
you
don't
know,
though.
you know.
Like I
You're
don't
trying to be
though.
positive, and I give you props.
No, like I think
No, I think a lot of us know.
I don't.
I mean, like I said, I know, but I don't. I'm being real. I think that's what would happen, right? Is there a possibility that maybe not? Maybe I don't know, but
Okay,
I
I'll
just want to
say
think.
this. In the back of my mind, it's more we stay together. I feel like in the back of your mind, it's done. Like I feel like that's where you're at, bro.
Yeah,
I'm trying to bring you to the good side.
I mean, I can lie like the rest of you guys and say, "Oh no, we're staying together." I'm sure Alex is gonna jump in here in a minute, like 100%, $1 billion. Carla's staying with me and rejecting the $1 billion. I know he's gonna say that bullshit because he doesn't
I
want to
I
fight
think she
later on
stays with
today.
him too.
I think any one of these guys that we know is gonna come and say the same
What are you
thing
gonna
because
do
they
with a
don't want
billion
to hurt.
dollars?
I. It doesn't matter. It's just that's not the that's not. I get what you're saying.
Like I'm just trying to think like how am I gonna enjoy that? Like I'm gonna be so sad for at least a good while, dude. Like
Okay, you'll be sad for a year. You still got another.
oh, you'll be crying in a Lamborghini.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh man. I guess do you tell your spouse, go baby, take the $1 billion. I want you to be happy. Like you're holding
Fuck
it back
no. Fuck no.
Ah.
You
Wait, what did
wouldn't.
that Alex what? Oh no, I wouldn't tell Diana to leave. Fuck
Yeah,
no.
you wouldn't.
I'd be like, you ain't gonna enjoy that money. Alex
Yeah.
said, "Yep, I will." He
Oh,
will
he's
what?
he's saying,
He'll take
yeah, I
the
will.
money.
No, 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 no. He's saying, yeah, I'm gonna say exactly what I need to say right now to not cause any problems. That's what he's saying.
Oh,
I hear you, brother. I learned my lesson. But I know my partner don't watch his videos, so I'm good.
Cesar is educated by his experience.
Remember from last time?
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember. Man,
Makes you fucking sad, huh? Let me go pee. Hold on.
not about my
I'm gonna give
experience.
you. Sure, sure. Right. Hold on.
We need to get Cesar more happy, guys. How do we make Cesar happier, more positive? We got all these topics to talk about, and they're so negative. Oh man, how do you enjoy all that money though? Leaving the person, it's like I'm trying to think. Like you've been with somebody 15, 20 years, have a family. All right, you get offered all this money. Let's say you're a happy family. You get offered all this money to dip. I I don't think I could enjoy my time one without my spouse, right? Like I literally just dedicated my life to you. And then two, without my children at that point, right? If you have children, that would be just like detrimental. Could you imagine thinking like, damn, okay, I invested 25, 20 or 20, 15, 20 years. Well, I don't know. Invested 15
Dude, I
years
just think people have done
and
a lot
to,
more for a lot less.
yes, but they're not in a good relationship.
Right, because everybody's in a great relationship.
No, not everybody's in a great relationship, but a lot of people are. A lot
Right.
of people are in a great relationship, in a very good relationship.
Yeah, but also these people are not getting faced with this situation.
Sure, I mean, I don't think anybody is.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I think there's a lot more people in a great relationship than you think.
Oh yeah, no, no, I know.
That's what I'm saying, Alex.
Don't
I
don't
wouldn't I
don't
wouldn't leave
let
Diana
don't
either.
let my negativity fool you. I'm just trying to be real.
No, no, you're
I'm trying to
not.
I'm trying to be 100% real.
No, you're not.
That's what it is.
No, because you're saying people will
Go
leave for the
go ask
money
Diana right
for
now.
sure.
I'll ask my partner, and I'm sure Carla is gonna say yeah or no. No, there's no
Nuclear
splitsies.
war. And so that's another thing that I don't know, you weren't here, but I was talking about, like, think about if you're like 10, 15 years in a relationship, you have kids, right? You're in a good relationship, you go on vacations, like you're happy, and they, this whatever it's called,
You're
this
happy, but you're not billionaire happy.
okay, sure,
You're normal people happy.
sure. Now, you're telling me you will be fine leaving your kids and your wife for $1 billion.
I never said that.
No,
Though.
no, not saying you, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, you think somebody would think
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna give all this
Do I
shit
think
up.
people that I know and yes.
That's hard.
I wish I could put a number out there, but I know at least I can confidently say I feel strongly about this 50% for sure, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could
50%.
see that. I mean,
And I
I'm
mean
thinking.
both ways. I mean guys and girls, whatever. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, 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 no, yeah, no,
Like a 80 on the women and like a
yeah. Oh
50 on
well,
the
I don't know.
men.
Like, I'm trying to think about your circle, and I agree with that number. I'm trying to think about my circle, and yeah, I know there's a couple people in my circle too that done out. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, it's there. The the possibility is very
I just don't
real,
think
and I'm sure it would happen.
we really wouldn't know because again, there's just no way to do that
It's not gonna
experiment, I
happen,
guess.
sure,
Yeah.
but God,
But it makes you think how really strong is people's relationships.
yeah, I think, yeah, no, I think definitely. Um,
And I love that you and Alex are so positive about it.
it's not even that we're positive about it, man. It's just like,
Eh, eh. We've been positive. Where's Eric? I know
oh, Eric's on a different story.
same difference as somebody else that we know is in a relationship. they're still together now, but if there was something
Yeah.
in between, they definitely would not survive. They're not doing bad. They're not starving.
No, yeah, but like
Again,
I don't want to overextend. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, don't call anybody out. In general, just people that you know for sure. I know, like I said, it definitely would be a thing. Hell, I think just the argument about that, if it was real and people were to answer genuinely, it would just break that relationship. Just arguing about it.
like you're thinking like put a
Like if you
polygraph
just
test on
no, no,
people.
like if you just like imagine if you do like get punked, right? And you just fake it all the way through and you get the
Oh,
real genuine
oh,
answer for that.
ooh.
That would destroy some relationships.
Yeah, it's almost like you've seen those people where they go to the street and they're like, "Hey, you mind if I go to your phone?" And you're like,
Oh,
"Yeah, sure,
dude.
go for it."
Hamid, yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, yeah, that would destroy a lot of relationships.
Ooh, I think I just got an
I've
idea
always
for a show.
I've always wanted
I
to
just got an
like
idea for a show.
I've always wanted like somebody to run into me for that, so I'd be like, "Yeah," and then be on TV. You know what I mean? Like, go
Right. Yeah,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I feel like those things are staged.
It's like, which one do you want? You want my clean phone or you want my other phone? My
I
real
only
phone.
got I only got one phone. Shit.
Right.
Well, I got my old phone so that I could trade them in later. My Note
Nice.
8.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, funny story on that. The only reason I got this new phone, the Galaxy S 24 plus ABC 12, it's part of the LGBT, is because check this out. We were able to trade in the Galaxy S6
I think you told me that. That's
for the
insane.
Galaxy S 24
Yeah.
Ultra Plus. What
I
the
think
fuck, bro?
you know what I think about that? I think they just put that promotion out there because people usually don't have those phones anymore. They'll have like the
Yeah,
newer phones, right?
yeah.
He just happened to be that one guy who has
That
that
fucking
who still has
hoarder.
that S6. Yeah.
No, so we had the phone because Diana had gave it to her dad um to use it at some point, and so they're the hoarders.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I think this is the oldest phone that I have.
Yeah. I don't even have one.
Actually, I have my Galaxy S4. It's in the garage.
So what I used to do is I used to keep them pristine. So when I would trade them up, I would sell it. I would just sell it like
Yeah.
on whatever, right?
Oh, you would sell it
I would sell it to somebody.
externally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And then I would get like somebody like that.
Yeah.
Uh, that was back in the day, though. I don't have the patience
Yeah,
anymore to.
I think the trading value for a lot of these now
It's really good, yeah.
yeah,
But also,
they've
but yeah, but it keeps you
in
kind of
debt.
attached. Yeah, it keeps you like
So yeah,
constantly
so the
paying.
only reason I got this phone was because the S2, I mean the S6 paid it off. Like they gave me what this was worth for the S6. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's actually, yeah, it was nuts. Had that not been the case, I would have stayed with my Note
No,
20 because I had the Note 20 5G.
oh, okay, okay.
That one was already paid off. I paid, I bought that out when there was a promotion a couple years back. So um, I wouldn't have traded up. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like I would still use this one if I didn't,
I mean, as long as it works.
that's where I'm at. But my significant other, she wants new and improved.
Yeah, she's 100% keeping you along with that old phone, right?
Along with the old phone, because she kept me with the old phone. I think
Right.
most relationships that have been through the rough and are now good will be the ones that like stick through that offer. I think if
You're
people
saying
haven't
those.
been through the
You're
rough,
saying
like
those
if
would be
it's
the
always
ones.
been good,
Wait. You're saying those would be the ones that would not make it, or that would make it.
that would not take the offer. That would make it.
The ones that got repaired. The ones that got back
It,
together.
sure, the ones that well
That
they
basically that
they're
made it through some
made it
struggle.
through the struggle and are now good, great, happy, right? Not that they just made it through and then they're still clashing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think those for sure would
Yeah,
be
because back to your general point, that would be a stronger relationship than just a regular one, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if it's always been good and shit, like there's nothing that has happened bad. Like it's like, let's stir the pot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But really, who has those relationships that don't even exist?
according to you, everybody.
No, I didn't say that nobody's never
Yeah,
had it rough.
they've made it seem like everybody's in a great relationship.
No, I said there is a lot of people that are in a
I
relationship, although you may not believe it.
definitely do not believe that, sir.
What?
I don't think
Why?
I don't think it's a lot, and definitely not the majority.
There's 10 billion people on this planet, bro.
Yeah,
There's a lot of relationships that are happy. I think, unfortunately, in
I
our
would have to see some.
circles,
I would have to see some studies on that.
I think, unfortunately, in our circles,
Do you think the person that was arranged married is 100% happy on the other side of the world?
if it worked out, I mean, if it worked out, why not? If they arranged you with like this great person, why wouldn't you be happy?
So here's one of our topics. Did we talk about this last time?
Which one? Vamos a ver.
Uh, the one where marriage is just a business agreement.
See what I tell y'all, guys? This guy's got all the negative thoughts.
Hey, again, this is not my original thought. It's just I got it from somewhere else. It says marriage is more about business and less about love. Oh,
Nah,
that's the statement.
nah, hell no. I mean, maybe like in the 16th century, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
going
think
back to arranged marriages
now.
and
Yeah,
all that shit.
yeah, like where people used to marry their cousin and shit like that to keep
Yeah,
all the
to keep
properties and
shit
all
in
the
the
land
yeah.
and all the yeah, but I don't think now. I think now it's I mean this still happens, I'm sure, but for the most part I don't think marriage is like a business transactional thing for the most part, right? I think most of the time people actually genuinely think they're in love or are in love,
At least at the
and then
beginning.
well, when they commit the act, right, of getting married, I think they believe they're in love or they
Yeah,
are in
but
love.
that's what I'm saying.
And
At least
then,
at the beginning of the relationship.
well, it's not always at the beginning.
Oh, okay, here we go again.
Well, you're saying like you meet and you think you're in
No,
love
I'm
and then you'll get
saying
married?
the normal, I guess, process of a relationship is towards the beginning. It's hot and um
Okay, I
romantic
see what you're
and
saying.
whatever,
And
but
I
that
think
love dies down
no, it doesn't.
throughout the
I
years.
think we are speaking, and this is for both of us. We're speaking out of experience,
So
and
you're
I
saying
think
that's not whoa. So you're saying this isn't the norm, is what you're saying.
it's not because love
Ooh,
is an
I
action.
definitely
Love
would
is
argue
something
that.
that
I definitely
you
would argue that.
love is something that you should practice every day.
Sure. So I
It's not
so
something that happens and it's there. You know what I mean? Love is something you should
yes.
practice every day. So like romance and I guess love and like happiness and these are actions and practicing it every day.
Okay, so maybe
Unfortunately, we
as
fall in a trap of
I see
like,
what you're
oh,
saying. I see what you're
yeah,
saying. So you're saying love is something, right? And
correct.
what I'm talking about is the relationship. It typically starts off strong. Forget about love. It starts off
Okay.
really strong and happy and sexy and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And over time it dies down and
I think
it
people
evolves into
allow it
something else.
to.
And if you, like you said, if you make it through that rough patch, eventually you come out on the other side stronger.
But see, that's from our
If you
experience because
allow it
I
to,
know of some people that don't allow that. And it's they go on dates, like they have their set like dates, like that's this a
yeah.
thing. They know that they're gonna do
Do you feel like you've done that in the past?
what?
Like try to keep it going. Try to keep going
Mm,
on dates, being romantic, having details.
no. If I'm being honest, I have not. And
Like you've done it, but you haven't done a great job at it. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I haven't stayed the path to doing that. Um, big fault of mine. Big,
Yeah,
big fault
I,
of
I would
mine.
agree that, and I think over time you learn too, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe you don't know it towards the beginning because nobody really ever teaches you this, right? This is something you learn
Yeah, I know. I recently learned
on
this,
the
maybe
fly.
last year or so, where like, okay, it's for me, it might be completely fine to sit on the couch and watch TV with Diana all day.
Yeah,
But and that's sparky to me. Like I love that shit. That if she was to fucking put her head right here on my shoulder, watch TV, just hang out with me, oh man, I'm melting. But to her, it's different.
that to her is
And so
completely not like
I need to, from my side, right? And
yeah.
this comes from communication too. For me to keep that love alive, that spark alive, it's okay. Well, what do you like? Okay, you like to go on walks. You like to go out to dinner. This dinner. You like to eat this. You like to do this.
I
Let's
re-
do this.
I refuse to believe because we talked about the norm. I refuse to believe that you, because I know how you are and you're emotional and like very loving and positive, that you are doing a worse job than every other guy out there
I
because you're saying it's not the
really
norm.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Because you're saying it's not the
Um.
norm. I would say you're doing way better than the norm, right? So if that's the case, the norm is that the relationships die down, things don't work, sparks not going, and it just deteriorates over time. I
Okay. So
refuse to believe.
maybe let me see if I follow. Maybe I just feel like the norm makes it like a status quo, like that's what it should be, right? When I think of the
No, when I
norm.
say the
But
norm,
what
I
you're
mean
saying is this is
that's
what
just
ends up
what it
happening
is. Yeah,
the
that's just what
majority
ends
of
up
the
happening
time.
naturally. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's a fact. And I think it's because a lot of people don't we fall into this trap of conformity, right? Like
Yes.
we
Yeah.
know that they're gonna be there,
But
we're
so,
content, you know what I mean?
so more so than that, or also that, definitely that. But like I said earlier, no, there's no school for this. Like you don't.
There is no school for this,
Nobody
you're
teaches
right.
you this. Or like hopefully if your dad is around, which we know
Yeah.
in
For
our
both of
case,
us,
that's
that
not the
wasn't the
case, right? Like,
case.
say you have a successful marriage and your parents, and your dad is around, and he's able to kind of share some of that with you, right? That would
Yeah.
be, I guess, the only way that, or you have a mentor maybe, or somebody who
Yeah.
you look to, but a lot of people don't,
Mhm.
and there's nobody teaches you this stuff, and you kind of have to either hopefully learn on the fly, like I said,
Yeah.
throughout your relationship, or sometimes we learn too late, and that's how we
Yeah.
end up remarrying or whatever and having a successful second or third relationship because by then we already learned all the tricks. We know all the stuff. We went through
Yeah.
it. We lived through it, and but nobody really actually like showed you. You just kind of learn from experience,
Yeah, I
and I
agree.
think
And I
that's
think it
where
also has to do with go for it,
that's
sorry.
the challenge. And like I said, to me, like I said, from personal experience, that was me, right? Like I nobody ever say like this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. Um, and just learn through experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Um fuck, I forgot what I was going to say, but oh, I was going to say yeah, and I think it also has to do with like the historical status quo, if that is the right way to say it. Back in the day it was like the woman was at home, right? And
Yeah.
for her to have a good kitchen, a good refrigerator, a good home, that was like the whoa, you got all this shit nice. And she had to
They
be
are
happy
taking
with
care of
that.
you. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're taking care of you. Um, I
And
think over the
and
years
and
we've learned that hey, women aren't just objects, right? They're also people.
yeah.
Men are people too, right? They're not just
But
mules to work. Now how do we get that balance? How do we get that, spark to stay alive, right?
so you said something important though, right? In between there. You said they were happy with that, right? So they could have genuinely been happy with that because that was the
I think
standard,
so.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Mhm.
so I think it's fair to say that now society and
Mhm.
and culture or whatever, right? it has made it to where you're unhappy, you're never fulfilled. Uh,
Mm, yes,
it
I
pushes
think
it pushes the agenda that
yes.
it's never enough. It's not too much. You never be happy. And then we
I
talked about
think
this, right? Like
the agenda is
how
that you'll
come
never be
billionaires
happy.
are not happy? How come millionaires and famous people and rich people and whatever commit suicide or fall into
Yeah.
drug addiction or whatever? Right? Because the happiness is never there. So we talked about gratitude, talked about happiness. It's there's no price tag on that. But if you've been told that things should be a certain way, like you need to be independent, don't give a damn about no man, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you'll never be happy.
That equality idea,
Yeah,
right? That
right.
yeah, that agenda has fucked up the situation a lot. It's had its pros and cons, right? Because obviously, like we said,
Yeah,
over the years, right, for the most part, women used to be this sort of object, right, just to procreate type thing, take care of the man, and then shit has progressed. Where okay, instead of just taking care of the man, now you build a home, right, like make the home a home, right, and then now it's being like, okay, let's be, we're both people, we both want happiness, okay, but I think it's the agenda is that's being pushed is extreme, where it's like you don't need a man, you can do shit on your own,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
you're just as much or better than a man, and that's where the
Right.
idea starts getting fucked up because we're different, you know what I mean, like men and
Yeah.
women are different
So I think
and will
so.
never
Yeah,
be the same.
we're different, and also you can't put two pieces of a puzzle that are the same shape together. Right. So you that's what the equality thing it kind of clashes because you can't
Hmm.
have that work that
It won't,
it's not
yeah,
a focus on relationships or making things better. It's a focus on equality and what is equality and
yeah,
how it's
well,
not fair, how it's negative. You know what I mean?
yeah,
The
the
agenda
agenda that's
overall
being
is
pushed
negative, like
is
not getting
negative.
paid the same, it's not fair, we're the same, right? So it's not, it doesn't push that be better at having relationships, be better at dealing with people, and be better at um, educating your family. That's not
Hmm.
what is being pushed.
I,
It's
I feel like the agenda that's being pushed is be better than what a man is, right?
yes,
And be better, but not in the right stuff, right? Not in your women stuff, right? Be better at a man in man things, right? Like that doesn't make sense, right? Like I always tell people, like I admire women, okay? The fact that they can create life, I mean, the fact that they can create life. No man ever will be able to experience that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that is crazy that you have these two cells that come together and fucking make a human. Like that's impressive. You know what I mean? Like that's impressive. No man's ever going to experience that. That already in itself makes you better at making people, right? You know what I mean? Like if we were to compare that, right?
So do you think the reason why women have been oppressed in the past can also be a little bit out of fear that they could potentially be more productive or better
I think
inner ignorance, right? Because we
sure. No,
know
I think
we know that we're different, right?
yeah,
We know that we're good at some things and the
yeah.
other ones are good at
No, I
whatever.
I I think where this stems from, and I don't think it's fear, honestly. I think where it stems from is history, right? If we go back to history, before we had all this ease of life, right? Technology and all this bullshit, you had to hunt and gather, right? You had to cook, you had to like do all this shit on your own. And I think there were things that were at the time, like let's say 600 AD, right? At the
Yeah.
time, power was, and by power I mean strength, right? Was
Actual
more,
physical power. Yeah.
yeah, physical. power was more important in a
Yes.
way. And so that's where that hierarchy came, because no matter
Also,
what, a man will always, if you train the same, right, a man will always be stronger,
yeah.
right? And so I think that's where this stems from, that given before all this ease of life, the features that men had were the important ones. Whereas now we're starting to get into an era where all the features are important, right? Intelligence, emotion, um, I guess cooking, raising children, whatever the fuck it is, right? There's a lot more characteristics that are now being balanced, whereas to before it didn't fucking matter, you know.
Yeah. Uh,
Before it didn't matter if you could
not only did
read a
it
book.
matter, and I'm just thinking here, and don't clip it and make it sound horrible. It's not that it didn't matter; it wouldn't work, right? If they were allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted. Eh, Because again, having like everybody has to play the role, right? So can you imagine in that time where you have to go and hunt and gather and whatever, and they were out there trying to do the same thing? It wouldn't work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But so like think about this too though, like if you went out and and you hunted a fucking a father boar, right? I don't know if you ever seen a boar, but these fucking
I have, yeah.
hogs are huge, you know, like. And now think about if you had this like, you know, athletic women, because they'd probably be athletic, but they're not gonna be fucking, you know, massive, because they're just their muscle density wouldn't allow it. But okay, whatever.
We know the
Now they gotta
physical difference different.
now they
It's
gotta
little,
haul this hog, you
yeah.
know, back to the. How many women would it take versus how many men? You know what I'm saying? Like just
Sure.
the fact that it would take, let's say, 5 men to you know,
And,
pull that
and
hog.
and
It
that's
would
what I
take
mean by
30 women.
that's what I mean by if they were just, let's say we were to promote equality back in the day, that definitely would have not worked.
It wouldn't work.
We are
It wouldn't work.
only able to do that because technology has allowed us to kind of be more on the same level in certain things because
Mm-hmm.
certain things are not required anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I guess you could say that some of that oppression could have been out of necessity for order,
Mm-hmm.
necessity for everybody to kind of play their role in society.
Yeah. I think that's where we're getting out of now. Like we're not playing our role.
Yeah,
You know, as fucking
I know people
dumb
hate
as
that.
that sounds,
Yeah,
right? Like as
no,
dumb as it sounds.
people don't like to hear that, but it's
Yeah.
not that when we say you roll, I don't mean go to the kitchen and cook. That's not
Yeah,
what we
make me a
mean, brother.
sandwich. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
You seen that
It's
video?
like,
You make daddy a sandwich.
yeah. No, it's like the when we talking about like playing your role is be a man and be a woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I said, be
Take
good
those
at
best.
women things.
Yeah, be
Contribute to
good at being a
society. Yeah.
woman, bro. Like be
Yeah.
good at being a woman. Be good at being a man. Like why is that so fucking hard? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I don't. It's it blows my mind. It blows my mind that, you know, like I think about it sometimes, right? And it goes both ways. But I'm a man, and I know what man a man goes through, and I think about this. I'm like, why in the fuck would a woman want to go through what a man goes through on a day to day? Why would a woman want to be
Oh,
expected what is expected from a man on a day to day,
that's
bro?
easy. That's ignorance. They just don't know.
Yeah. And
I mean,
the same vice
have you?
versa, right? Like you have men that want to be
Oh
women.
yeah.
Why do you want to why would you want to experience a period? You know what I'm saying? Like what in your mind makes you want to cramp for a week straight?
I don't want to
You
be
know?
harassed and used as a sexual toy every day. It's crazy. So,
Well, I might want
have
that.
you? Do you know about these? I want to say it was some a feminist. It was somebody
Yeah.
who did an experiment, and she lived as a man for a certain amount of time. Do you know about this?
No.
And she ends up killing herself because because the way that she was being treated, it was so depressive and it was so bad that she ends up killing herself. This is a real thing. I gotta look up
Wow.
the details, but the gist of it is, she, I guess she disguised herself as a man, right?
Yeah.
She lived as a man, and then she realized this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Um, and it fucked her up so much that she ends up ending herself. That's,
Wow. That's crazy, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, that's something there.
why would any right gender want to be the other gender if you know what your gender goes through? You know what I mean? Like, why would you
But
like why would you
a
want
little bit, a little bit, like I said, ignorance.
it's
Um,
ignorance, right? Because yeah, I don't know what a period is
because
like. Maybe
we're
it's
not
nothing,
promoting.
right? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Maybe
yeah.
it's fine.
Because we're
I don't know.
promoting, because again, we're promoting equality and better pay and equal pay, right? We're not promoting, like you said, the journey. We're not promoting of
Yeah.
like what it is that it's not facts. It's fake news.
Yeah, no, for
That's what
sure.
it's propaganda. It's what is
You
being
know,
promoted.
like you've mentioned equal pay a couple times, and uh
Well, I know because that one's a popular one for them.
no, it is 100%. But it's funny because this is pretty fucked up, but many companies have a quota on how many women they need to hire,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, and
Not just
so
that, minorities,
well, that
women,
they have a quota of
for
minorities,
everything. Yeah,
women, all this bullshit. Okay. But they don't have a quota on how many men to hire.
sure.
Like this they just fall into like how many people we need,
Right.
right? They're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
they're not looking for a man. They're just
yeah.
looking for people. But if there's a woman, we need her, right?
And
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so what I'm getting to is they'll argue for equal pay,
But that's not
but
equal treatment.
exactly.
Yeah,
So would you argue that it's kind of harder for a man to get a job now than it was, a couple of years ago?
maybe.
Is it harder for a man to get a job than it is for a woman? That's a good question.
I think it depends on what industry you were talking about. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Well, I know somebody
I know there's not a
once told
company out
me,
there who I know there's not a company out there who just it's not it all men anymore.
no, 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 not at all. And then you know what? Like, I'm not against it, bro. Like, I go ahead, hire the women, bro. Like, I'm all for like hire
Who's qualified
who's
for
qualified. Yes,
yeah.
but I'm saying this because I had an experience where there was two ladies that were allowed to roll off of a program when I wasn't. I had to finish the program and then I had to figure out my own way, and somebody high up made like a implication of, well, Moises, I know this sucks,
But
but
that's just how it
there
is.
are some numbers that need to
Yeah.
be met. And unfortunately, you didn't fall into that number.
Damn, I'm surprised they even told you that.
Yeah, this guy was badass, bro. He was an awesome guy. Awesome. He was a great manager. Great person, bro. Great person. He was a great person too, man. Great heart. I mean, this guy was amazing. Is amazing. He's still around.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, so what would I would could then I argue? Well, shit, I had to do more work to get job to the job, so it pay me more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could I argue that?
Yeah.
I'm sure those people are still making more money than I am, though. That's fuck. God, whatever. Story for another day.
No, but yeah, I understand where you come from.
I just think we all need to play our roles. Men need to be men. Women need to be women. Whatever the fuck that means. You know what I mean? Whatever the fuck that means. I don't. I mean, I know what it means, but I'll let it be a thought in some people's mind for now. Yo, Az, you a little late to the party, my guy.
Damn.
I would like to give a quick shout out though. Az did graduate from high school. He graduated early, I think.
Ooh,
So
nice.
congratulations on that, my boy. Um, I'd like to
Okay.
chat with you one day, link up, see what's next. What you got on your agenda. But we can do that some other time. On that note, I think that we're gonna call it here, man. We got some good time in this meta fudger. It's getting a little late. We got to work tomorrow. I know you're tired.
Hell yeah.
I'm not too tired. I had a nap last night. I had a nap yesterday, and I slept pretty good. So I'm good. I'm pretty fresh. Might hop
Nice.
on the COD. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Um, but for everybody that hang out, thank you so much stopping by and showing support. Like always, we appreciate that so much. As always, we always tell you guys head over to 2madkings.com. We'll have all of our social media in the top left. Make sure you follow and subscribe to all of the social media. If there's a little notification or a little bell, make sure you turn that on so you know when we go live. We go live every Wednesday around 8 p.m. And there's a suggestion or feedback or talk to us section at the very bottom of our website. So please, please, please fill that out. We've made it to where you can answer anonymously now. So if you got some mean shit to say, go for it. But other than that, man, we really appreciate all the support. And thank you so much, guys. Good night.